Hello everyone, I welcome you all to this lesson. Today I am going to discuss a different topic and a different subject. Hope you all little children will enjoy this particular lesson. In class 5, you all have done science, but as you move towards class 6, then your science is divided into 3 parts: physics, chemistry, and biology. Your biology is further divided in 2 parts, that is, botany and zoology. Botany is concerned with the plant life, whereas zoology is concerned with the animal kingdom or animal life. So let us start. The topic of today is plant life. And before that, let me ask you, have you subscribed to my channel? If you haven't subscribed up till now, then please do, and watch the video till end, and press the like button if you have liked my channel and this video. So now let us start with the topic plant life. This lesson is for my little tots of class 6 standard, that is biology. Now let us start with the topic plant life. Dear students, you have learnt about plants in your earlier classes. You are aware that plants play an important role in our lives. They provide food and oxygen to all organisms, which are the basic requirements for survival. You have also studied in your previous class that a great variety of plant life exists on the planet Earth. Plants vary in size from minute microscopic forms to small herbs, medium-sized shrubs to complex tall trees. You are also familiarized with the different parts of a plant body, which include roots, stems, leaves, flowers, fruits, and seeds. You have also studied about their basic functions. In this class, under the theme, you will learn about the structure and functions of plant body in little more details. This will enable you to know more about leaf, flower, fruits, and seeds. Appreciate their arrangements on the plants. Recognize the characteristics and functions of the various parts of a leaf and a flower. Identify the modification of leaves to perform special functions. Be aware of the process of pollination and sexual reproduction in plants. Understand the formation of fruits and seeds. Observe the germination of seeds into seedlings which grow into plants. Now, dear children, you all must be knowing that Gregor Mendel is known as the father of genetics. He was born on 20th July 1822 and died on 6th January 1884. Gregor Mendel was born in Czech Republic. He studied variations in plants in his monastery's garden. Between 1856 and 1863, Mendel cultivated and tested some 28,000 pea plants. He conducted important experiments on pollination to study how the particular characters of pea plant are transmitted to the next generations. He laid the foundation for the study of hereditary and genetics, and thus also known as the father of genetics. Now let us start with the main topic, the leaf. First of all, I will discuss about the leaf. Children, you have already learned about the various parts of the leaf. You are also very well aware that leaves are the important part of the plant body. And you also know that leaves make food for the plant. Do they also perform other functions? Leaves are green, thin, and flat outgrowth of the stem. Now let us understand the structure and function of the leaf in plant. First of all, I will discuss the structure of a leaf. All the leaves of a plant are collectively known as its foliage. The point on the stem from where a leaf arises is called the node. The leafless portion of the stem between any one node and the next is called the internode. A typical leaf has the following parts. Number 1. Petiole. It is a thin cylindrical stalk by which the leaf is attached to the stem. Number 2. Leaf blade. It is the thin flat green structure of leaf expanded horizontally is called leaf blade. It is also termed as leaf lamina. The boundary area extending along the edge of the leaf is called leaf margin. The pointed part of the leaf just opposite to the petiole is called the leaf apex. The color of the leaf blade is green due to the presence of green pigment called chlorophyll. It helps in carrying out the process of photosynthesis to prepare food. Number 3 is midrib. A central thick linear structure called central vein or midrib extends along the length of lamina. It starts from the apex and continues into the petiole veins. The midrib divides into several lateral branches which are called veins. This is the fourth part. The pattern of each vein in specific, and it helps in identifying a plant. The veins provide support to the blade and help in the transport of material to and away from the leaves. Number 5 is the leaf base. A small swollen portion at the end of a petiole is called the leaf base. The leaf is divided into many parts, that is apex, margin, veins, midrib, base. So these are all called the blade. Then comes petiole and stipule. Then in another type of leaf, you can also mark the same thing, that is the apex, margin, veins, midrib, base. These are all called the blade. Then comes the petiole and then comes the leaf base. This is the structure of a typical leaf. Now children, I'll tell you about the simple and compound leaves. In some plants, leaf lamina is divided into small leaves like structure called leaflets based on the division of leaf lamina. Leaves can be of two types. Number 1, simple leaf. In simple leaves, lamina is not divided into separate lobes or leaflets. A single bud is present in the axil of leaf. The base of leaf is often has stipules. Example, leaves of mango, guava and peepal. Number 2, compound leaves. The lamina is divided into 2 or more leaflets. The leaflets may either arise on the sides or at the tip of the petiole. A bud lies in the axil of the whole leaf. The individual leaflets do not have these buds. The stipules may occur at the base of the whole leaf. The base of the leaflet does not have stipules. For example, leaves of a rose or coriander neem. Now children, I will tell you about the leaf venation. The leaves that you collect, you will find that different kinds of leaves have different pattern of veins. If you collect some of the leaves, you will observe this. Okay, you can collect some pictures and paste it in your scrapbook. The arrangement of veins in a leaf is called venation. So if I ask you, what is venation, children? So you should say the arrangement of leaves in a leaf is called, the arrangement of veins in a leaf is called venation. Though there are lots of variations in the leaf venation, the basic arrangements of veins is of two types. This is also very important, so listen carefully. Number 1 is reticulate venation and number 2 is parallel venation. In reticulate venation, the veins are interconnected to each other. They are arranged in the leaf in a net-like pattern. This type of venation can be observed in the leaves of rose, tulsi, china rose, hibiscus, peepal, neem tree, etc. Parallel venation. In parallel venation, the leaves run parallel to each other. This type of venation can be observed in the leaves of banana, wheat, maize, rice, onion, grass, etc. So the arrangement of leaves in the arrangement of veins in reticulate is net-like on both sides of the midrib, while in parallel venation it is parallel to each other. The example of reticulate venation is peepal leaves, neem leaves, and parallel venation is banana leaves and wheat leaves. Now you can do some activity on these leaves. You can study different types of leaves. So what do you need to do? A few leaves, crayons and a sheet of paper. And how will you do it? Collect different types of leaves of various shapes. Place leaves on a paper with lower surface facing upwards. Keep another sheet of paper on the leaves. Rub the paper with crayon over the leaves. What do you observe? Impressions of leaves appear on the paper. What do you conclude? Compare the impressions. You will find that each leaf is unique. Functions of leaves. Now children, I'll be talking about the functions of leaves. I hope you know that. The leaves are very important part of a plant. They carry out various functions in plants. Now some of them I am going to discuss below here. Now first of all, the function of leaf is to manufacture food. You have already learned that plants manufacture food which provide nutrition to all organisms. This process is formed by the leaves. Leaves contain a green pigment called chlorophyll, which in the presence of sunlight, water and carbon dioxide manufactures food. This process is known as photosynthesis. Now you can do one activity on this particular part of the function of leaves. What do you have to do? Your aim is to demonstrate that food is synthesized by the process of photosynthesis. So what do you need? 2 potted plants and iodine solution. How will you do it? Take 2 potted plants with big green leaves. Keep one plant in dark and other plant under sunlight for 2 or 3 days. Pluck one leaf from both the plants. Put a few drops of iodine solution on each leaf and observe. What do you observe? The leaf of the plant exposed to sunlight turned blue-black as it prepared food, that is the starch. The leaf of the plant which was kept in the dark becomes yellowish in color as it could not manufacture food. So what do you conclude? The leaves synthesizes food in the presence of sunlight. Note, there are some plants which have leaves with green as well as non-green plants. These are called variegated leaves. If you take one of these leaves and put 2 or 3 drops of iodine solution, you will observe that green parts have turned blue-black while non-green plants did not. This also confirms that photosynthesis takes place in green parts of the plant. The second function of leaf is respiration. The surface of the leaves have tiny pores called stomata. The stomata helps in exchange of gases during respiration, the process by which plants lose water in the form of water vapor through their small parts or the aerial parts, that is called stomata, that is under the leaves. It is found under the leaves. Transpiration. Number third function is transpiration. Plants needs water for their growth and development. Plants absorb water through their roots. However, they only need a small amount of water. The excess water present in the plant is lost as water vapor through stomata. This process is called transpiration, and it also helps in cooling the atmosphere. So, if you want to demonstrate the occurrence of transpiration in plants, you can do it. So, what do you need to do? Bring a healthy plant with fresh leaves, polythene bags and threads. How to do it? Select a healthy plant and fresh leaves. Cover a few leaves with polythene bags and tie it with the help of a thread. Now take another empty polythene bag and close its mouth with a thread. Leave both the bags undisturbed under the sunlight for 2 to 3 hours. So what will you observe? The polythene bags covering the leaves contains water droplets on its inner surface due to release of water vapor by transpiration, whereas the empty polythene bag does not contain any water droplets due to absence of transpiration. So what do you conclude? Plant leaves and releases water by transpiration. Now children, I'll tell you about the modification of the leaves. In many plants, leaves also perform some functions other than manufacture of food, and the functions you have just now I have discussed with you. So these leaves are called modified leaves. The different modification of leaves and their functions are: number 1, leaf tendrils for additional support. Leaves or leaf tips of some plants modify into soft coiled or wire-like structure. These are tendrils which give support to the plants with weak stems. A few examples are pea and glory lily. Number 2 is the leaf spines for conservation of water and protection. In desert plants like cacti, leaves are reduced to fine pointed and hard spines. The modification of leaves help the plant to conserve water and grow in desert areas. The leaves modified into pointed spines also protect the plants from grazing enemies, as in the case of prickly pear, Oputina and Mexican poppy. Scale leaves for storage of food and water. Normally, leaves do not store water as this can interfere with photosynthesis. However, in some cases, they do store food and become thick and fleshy. The common example is onion. Insectivorous leaves for nutrition by feeding on insects. Now these insectivorous leaves for nutrition by feeding on insects. A few plants feed on insects for obtaining their nutritions. These plants are termed as insectivorous plants. Insectivorous plants are generally green plants and they can prepare their own food by using raw materials like autotrophs do. These plants usually grow in soil which has less amount of nitrogen. Thus, they feed on insects to fulfill their nitrogen requirements. The most common example of an insectivorous plant is the peach plant, Nepenthes. Other examples include sundew plants, Venus flytrap, and bladderwort. The leaves of a particular pitcher plant are modified into a pitcher. The apex of the leaf forms a lid over the pitcher, which can be opened and closed. The pitcher has hairs inside it, which are directed downwards. When an insect sits on the pitcher, it slips inside. The leaf loses its lid, closes its lid, and the insect gets trapped in the hair. Enzymes are released inside the pitcher, which digest the insect and the plant obtained its nutritions. So this is how the feeding on insect by pitcher plant is done. Now comes the reproduction by leaves. You have learnt that new plants are grown through seeds. Don't you children? You know this? When seeds are sown in the soil, then what happens? A few plants can produce new plants through their leaves. The process by which plant gives rise to new plants of their own kind for their vegetative part, such as stems, roots, and leaves, is called vegetative reproduction. These plants produce small buds in the notches present at the margin of leaves. These buds are called foliar buds, which develop gradually into small plantlets. The plantlets detach from the mother plant, fall off, and give rise to new plants. A few examples of plants which reproduce vegetatively through their leaves are Bryophyllum, sprout leaf plant, Begonia, elephant ear plant, and Kalanchoe. So, this is what we have learnt in this particular lesson, that is the plant life. So let us recapitulate whatever we have learned. Number 1, we have learned about the leaf. Then we have learned about the different structure of the leaf, that is petiole, leaf blade, midrib, veins, leaf base. Then children, we have learnt about the simple leaf and the compound leaf. What are compound leaves? Leaf with stamina divided into 2 or more leaflets, that is called the compound leaf. After that, we have learned the difference between the simple leaf and the compound leaf. Then we have learned what is leaf venation, that is the arrangement of veins in a leaf is called leaf venation, Then we have learned the functions of leaves, and first function is to manufacture food, number 2 is respiration, number 3 is transpiration. Then we have learnt about the modification of the leaves in which we have learned about leaf tendrils for additional support, leaf spines for conservation of water and protection, scale leaves for storage of food and water, insectivorous leaves for nutrition by feeding on insects. And the last what we have learned is about the reproduction of leaves. How does the leaf reproduce? That is the process by which the plant gives rise to a new plant of their own kind from their vegetative part, such as the stem, root and leaves, is called the vegetative propagation or vegetative reproduction. So dear children, I hope this lesson is quite clear to you, and with this I end my lesson. Hope this lesson will be beneficial for you in your study. Do like, share and subscribe my channel. Thank you.